Welcome to the Deep Dive by Outlier, where we uncover the market's hidden trends and give you the edge you need. Head on over to ovtlyr.com right now to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk today. Now let's jump right in.
All right, let's jump right in. Today we're taking a closer look at China's economy.
Sounds good.
Specifically, we're going to be breaking down this recent CNBC article.
Okay.
It's called China Consumer Prices Rise Slowest in 4 Months Despite Stimulus.
Interesting.
It was published just a few days ago on November 9th, 2024.
All right.
And it's really interesting stuff. So basically, the main takeaway here is that China's economy seems to be slowing down.
Right.
Even though the government is trying to stimulate growth.
Yeah, it's like they're hitting the gas pedal, but the car's barely moving.
Exactly.
It's like a real head scratcher.
It is. So the question is, what's going on here, and why should our listeners care?
Well, you got to remember that China's economy is a major player on the global stage.
Right.
What happens there has ripple effects all over the world.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a giant engine that powers a lot of global trade and manufacturing.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
So if that engine starts to sputter,
it
can cause all sorts of disruptions.
Like those supply chain issues we saw a while back.
Exactly. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty here. What's the data telling us?
Well, China's Consumer Price Index, or CPI, which basically measures how much prices are rising, grew at its slowest pace in 4 months this past October.
Okay.
It only went up 0.3% compared to last year.
So prices are barely increasing.
Right, and that's actually the slowest growth since June.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, less inflation means more money in our pockets, right?
Well, in theory, yes.
Okay.
But when inflation is this low, it can actually be a red flag.
How so?
It suggests that people aren't spending, businesses aren't investing.
Gotcha.
And the whole economy is kind of just stalling out.
So it's like the economy is stuck in neutral, even though the government is trying to rev the engine.
Precisely. And speaking of the government trying to rev the engine,
let's
talk about that massive 10 trillion yuan stimulus package they just approved.
Oh, yeah. The one that's worth like 1.4 trillion US dollars.
That's the one.
I mean, that's a huge amount of money. You'd think that would be enough to jumpstart any economy.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
So what's the catch?
Well, it wasn't exactly the direct cash injection into the economy that some investors were hoping for.
So where did the money go?
It seems like a lot of it is going towards helping local governments deal with their debt problems.
Oh, so it's more about long-term financial restructuring than a quick boost to consumer spending.
That seems to be the case. It's definitely a situation that warrants close attention, and I think it highlights this really important point.
What is that?
We live in a world where everything is connected. You know, what happens in one place can have these ripple effects that spread out across the globe.
It's like we're all in the same boat sailing through these economic waters together.
Precisely. And it goes beyond just economics, too. It's about understanding different cultures and perspectives. You know, the more we understand about the world around us, the better equipped we'll be to navigate these complexities, you know, all the challenges and opportunities that come with a globalized world.
I love that. It's a call to action almost.
Yeah.
You know, be more engaged. Be more informed, be more connected to what's happening outside our own little bubbles.
Exactly. And it's not just about passively absorbing information either, you know? It's about actively engaging with the world around us.
How so?
It's about having conversations, asking questions, challenging our own assumptions, and being open to different viewpoints.
It's about embracing curiosity and stepping outside our comfort zones.
Precisely. And when we do that, we start to see that we're all part of this interconnected tapestry, you know?
We're all sharing this planet and facing these challenges together.
Exactly. This deep dive has been a real pleasure. You know, it's always great to have these conversations and share insights with folks who are interested in learning more about the world.
Well, I've certainly learned a lot from you today. It's been incredibly insightful.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I always enjoy these discussions, especially with someone as engaged as yourself.
Well, I'm just trying to keep up with you. You've provided some fantastic context and analysis. So as we wrap up here, what's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with? Something to ponder as they go about their day.
I would say stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. The world is constantly changing, you know?
Right.
And it's up to all of us to keep learning, keep adapting, and keep seeking understanding.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll bring this deep dive into China's economic situation to a close. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
My pleasure.
And until next time, keep exploring.
Hey, thanks so much for deep diving with us today. Head on over to outlier.com. That's ovtlyr.com to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk today. And we'll see you next time.